What's up guys, welcome back to the next video in learning PHP object-oriented programming. My name is QDS Danny and you guys watching my channel Crywood. In this video we're gonna see the cloning objects, how we're gonna clone our objects. Alright, so how do we clone our objects? So far we have created our object. If you don't know our objects, it is passed by reference when we pass it as a parameter. It's just like say for example you guys have a lot of threads and you guys can put it inside the box, and you guys can try to go inside the box and look for that thread. As in here, you guys look in here that we have instantiated with Corio objects, and we are bundling this together inside of stuffing this together inside the say matchbox or something. So we're gonna try to access this one. All right, so how we gonna say, for example, now what happens then if you try to say for example because initialize this one, say Corio objects, and we have another objects, and you guys want to pass this one to say the objects too, and I'm going to show you guys how. For example, we're going to come here and put a class, and we're going to come, for example, put a class test. Now we have a class test, and you guys can put up, say for example, public, and you guys can have put a, for example, my name, our we put a username, for example, username 1. So we have a username 1, and we're gonna come here and say we initialize, say we're gonna put some sort of say our social. We want to put a object social, and we put a new, and we put a test. Now we have object social, and now we gonna come here and we put a social. We say object, or you can put a social 1, for example. We can put a object 1 or social 1, or I'm gonna put it here, social 1, so we can identify which objects where, and we can use our object operator here, and we say, for example, username 1, and for example we can put a George Washington, or we put a Donald Trump, or Donald, we put it, for example. So we have a social media, and we put a class test, we want to test it. We have a property, it's called user1, and we created instantiate our objects, and we put a new, that's the name of our class, and here we put a social 1, which is this our objects, and we put a username 1. As you guys know, if you go here and we put a print r, we can put a social 1, and as you guys want to see the debug, so we're gonna come here, we say the name of our class is a profile, and we're gonna see here profile, and as you guys know here our object is Donald. Our username 1 is Donald. So how about if you guys wanna say assign this one and make it Joe Biden, for example. Now we're gonna create a social 2 another object, and we're gonna put a social 1. Keep in mind, now we have another object called social 2, and here we have our the original object, which is social 1. We assign this social 1 to social 2. Now you guys tell me what's gonna happen. Now even if I wanna say, for example, I wanna put a social 2, because I wanna use this one, because this social 2 have all the good properties, everything whatever this social 1 has. Say for example, now we want to put a social 2, and we're gonna put a name, because people username 1, and we put a Joe Biden, say for example Biden. All right, so now if you look in here, we have a class test, we have a property username 1, we instantiated our object social 1, social name 1, we gonna access this one. If you guys want to put a Donald here, you can put it here. So as you guys know that originally we have here Donald Trump, or Donald. here. So we have assigned this everything, all this our object to this one, to the second one. So we want to put a social 2 username. We want to see both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, say both of them's president say President Donald Trump, say for example, and we can put a President Joe Biden, because we want to have a program to show that the first president was a while back, that was Donald Trump, and we have another one, say for example Joe Biden. So you guys can put it, make it nice, for example. Okay, so you guys can put a good echo, say for example echo, and you can put a H2. We can put a H2 presidents of America. All right, so we want to see both now and both names here. So even though we have done this one now, the only problem here is that the second one is going to override this one. So because if you run, you're going to see that one, the second one is going to override this one, Presidents of America, President Joe Biden. So now here our objects, the second one is override that Donald Trump. So what happens if you want both here? Okay, so we're gonna come and if you guys can read this, or you guys want to remove, say for example we can put an echo, and we can put a president. So we can put a, for example 2016, for example, president, US president, and we can put a, say social one, and then we are going to access the name, then username 1, and we're going to do the same one and with the minor changes, and we put a 2022. Keep in mind this is just an example. I'm not going to go on the history or anything, just the example, so you guys know that now we can put a social 2, and we can put some sort of say break. Say we want to put a BR. So now even if you guys gonna do this, you guys we're gonna get the, say for example we can see this with the line 24 is gonna say that the President Joe Biden, because well the 2000 and this one was 2016 was Donald Trump, not Joe Biden. And then we're gonna see here so some sort of problem, social 2 here, we have a typo here, so we're gonna fix that. We're gonna come here and you're gonna see both of them Joe Biden. Why both of them Joe Biden? Because here we want the Donald Trump, because the 2016 or 17 whatever year Donald Trump was the president, or maybe I think 2015 or something. So we're gonna, how we're gonna fix this one, because the first one we want to see the Donald Trump, and the second one we gonna want to see the Joe Biden. To fix this, as I said to you guys before, you guys gonna use a clone. So how we gonna use a clone? And here we're gonna use a clone. All right, so now we are using clone, and what's the function of the clone? The clone operator. And what's the function of the clone operator? It creates a new instance of the class and copies property values from the original instance, which was the social 1, to the new instance, which is social 2. Okay, so as you guys observe here the first instance we put a, say Donald Trump, and the second one we put a Joe Biden, but instead of showing us here President 1, and here look at the dates, 2016, Donald Trump is showing us President Joe Biden in both instances. This one's okay, and this one's not okay. Okay, so now we're gonna see if this clone is gonna, say for example, gonna solve our problem. Now we're gonna come here and run, and you're gonna see that the first one was President Donald Trump, and the second one was President Joe Biden. And I said again, don't worry about this, maybe 2013, 14, 15, but the idea is that you guys need to understand clone. So the clone is looking here that over here we have a class test, and it has a property. So it has a property. We come here and instantiated our class. We created social1, and through social1 we assign some sort of value here. We initialize this one, and I've shown you guys initialize in the previous videos. So we have initialized this one, we have printed this one. So now we we have created another one, but without the clone. We have assigned everything whatever here to this guy here, the social2. Then the social2 was overriding the Donald Trump. It wasn't showing the President Joe Biden. And I've seen that 2016 was also Joe Biden, and 2022 was also Joe Biden. And to solve this problem, we have created effectively is clone. So the clone comes here and effectively solves our problem. So how we solve the problem, because now you guys going to see that even though we have done all these changes, we have created here, it preserved this property here. You look in here that we are cloning this guys here. So because when you have all your objects here, so when you assign to the second objects, for example, for some reason, when you guys use clone, it clones the objects. So it leaves the original, whatever original there was Donald Trump is intact. This Donald Trump is intact, still intact, and still, even though we have assigned everything to the second one, is still intact, and this shows you the the president. How cool is this? This is the power of PHP. So with the clone, you guys can preserve this property, the first one, which was that we have already assigned the President Donald Trump, and is preserved here. You guys can do can create as many objects as one. You can create objects one, instantiate your class, create object one and name it, initialize it. Then you can put it in object two, and then you can output whatever you guys want to do. In our case, we wanted to say, for example, it's going to be the Donald Trump. Say in the example, our the first one was say Donald Trump, and this one was Joe Biden. So you guys can do that. This is very useful if you guys learning PHP object-oriented programming. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe my channel. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.